Hi there, Shara Carruthers here from BlissBody&Soul. Sorry for my finger in the picture. I'm just turning up the volume so that you can hear me, hopefully. Hello, hello. And so we've had this series of talking about seasonal healthcare or seasonal self-care. And so today we're going to be talking about a lovely practice for spring. As usual, give me 1 second just to share this around. I hope everybody out there in Springtime Land is enjoying their spring and is thinking a little bit about their health and wellness and how and what they can actually do to create the most healthy and happy spring possible. I love spring. It's a great time of year. Okay, just waiting for this to come up. It is a great time of year. Everybody, you feel like you're kind of breaking out of the heaviness of winter. You sometimes depending on where you are, you might see these beautiful flowers crocuses starting to come up through the ground, kind of just reminding you that it's a time for renewal and it's a time for kind of starting new things and perhaps even kind of breaking outside of who you know yourself to be. That little bit of self-expression, that's all about springtime. If you know someone who is interested in learning a little bit more about Ayurvedic self-care for springtime, please feel free to share this with them. I'm going to get started any second. There we are. I just had to wait for this to come up on Facebook so that I can share it. Yes, please do share this with them. Oh, hold on, wrong one. Here we go. Okay, sorry that went down and it came back up. So I've found this little glove. Sometimes people will use, there's actual brushes that people can use, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a minute. And then you can also just use like a dry washcloth to do the massage. Now, how do you decide which one you're going to use? A lot of that will depend on the sensitivity of your own skin. So if you've got highly sensitive and perhaps even thin Vata type skin, you're going to want to go with something that is kind of as soft as possible, but that still will get the work done. So that's why something like a washcloth could actually be quite good for you. If your skin is kind of thicker and you've got sort of kapha type skin, then that's when something like a proper dry brush or loofah can actually work, or something like this, which is a kind of, or the Garshan gloves, which is a kind of, it's kind of a cross. It's not super rough, but I can definitely feel the roughness. And if you're a Vata, you might find doing this in the springtime that with something a little bit too rough that is actually agitating or Vata aggravating and can bring about a little bit of pain or perhaps anxiety. So you've got to really be careful about what you're going to be using to do the massage, the Garshan massage. Now, the strokes for Garshan massage, whoa, that's a tongue twister, are very similar to the strokes for Abhyanga. I haven't talked about Abhyanga, but I do have a tutorial that can help you with that. In other words, we use long strokes on the arms and we use circular strokes on the joints. We use circular strokes on the belly. The other thing that I also throw in for Garshan, given that it is lymphatic massage, is I sometimes will do a bit of a circular massage, like around the arms. Right? Circular massage around the arms. Hopefully you can see that. I've got a sweater on today. And also circular massage around the joints. So if you're somebody who's got thin skin, like Vata skin, you might want to just use a dry washcloth. If you're somebody who's got thicker and more durable skin, or who isn't going to be too agitated by something that's really scratchy, you might use a glove like that, or a Garshan glove, circular. Right, and we usually we're not really working the face. We usually start at the top and we move down. This is a nice thing to do while you're seated. So typically we start this with a dry body, no oil on the body whatsoever. If you're Vata and you've got sort of issues with really soft skin, you can try putting a really light layer of oil, but I highly recommend that you try it dry and then you can perhaps have a shower and then put the oil on so that the oil can kind of sink into the skin so that your body isn't going to be too irritated or agitated. So this Garshan massage is quite good for reducing ama. It's good for reducing toxicity in the body. So it's a great thing to incorporate if you are cleansing. As I mentioned before, it's great for the springtime. Again, just to feel like you're lightening up a little bit and like you're bolstering your immune system. It's a great practice to build into your morning routine. And if you're a high kapha individual or you're dealing with kapha issues, it's also a nice thing to incorporate into your practice, whether that just be for a little bit of time until you can get that kapha under control, or whether that be sort of once a week if you know that you're prone to kapha issues. I hope this helps a lot. I'm going to check to see if you've got any questions about this. You can always ask those questions in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer them. These things you can find just about any drugstore or store that sort of sells like little personal care items. Obviously, most people are going to know about where they can find a washcloth. I will put a link in the comments about where you can purchase Garshan gloves if you're interested in Garshan gloves. And then, of course, if you have questions about any other types of apparatus that you might use for this, feel free to ask away. Definitely give it a try. You would not believe how invigorated and light that you can feel after something as simple as a massage. And of course, we all know, practicing Ayurveda, that massage really is about self-love. And so give yourself a little bit of love if you're out there in the springtime, and try this out this week. Okay, thanks so much for your time today, and I will see you next week. Until then, namaste.